Aloha everyone and welcome back to another space weather update. Today is Sunday, June 23rd, 2024. It is 8:55 a.m. here in Phoenix, Arizona. And we have some interesting news today for the Sunspot that has now rotated around for its third visit, and this sunspot is in charge of the strongest solar flare we've had of solar cycle 25, which was an X nearly 9, an X 8.95 or something like that, and a few other very strong solar flares, like in the top 5 of this solar cycle of the last 11 years. This sunspot that's rotating around and now visible from Earth for the third time, and it has been renamed actually because it's come around so many times. I think it's third, if not fourth time, but the sunspot just keeps its composure basically, and keeps rotating all the way around and visiting us over and over. So today it officially visited Earth by expressing itself with an M9 solar flare, which you can see behind me impacted the Atlantic Ocean pretty massively. So if you're living in the area that was in this redness over here, then you perhaps experienced a bit of a jolt out of your bed this morning or at your workplace, I should say. You definitely weren't sleeping. Maybe even having a hard time going to bed, perhaps. Either way, it is powerful energy and the sunspot doesn't play. So we may be getting more of this energy very soon, the next couple days, which is great because here I am activated by the sunspot yet again to, I would say, further pursue and share the space weather study that I'm up to and that all these other dudes on Twitter that I follow are up to, and sharing with everybody. So a little closer look at the behavior of the solar, I would say, of the sun basically, and these flares over the last 3 days, and how we've now kind of bumped ourselves into a new level of radiation. We were getting actually quite a bit of a break during the solstice, and a few days around and before the solstice we got a decent break, I want to say, personally, from what I was expecting. But now we're seeing the trend of the wattage and the X-ray radiation basically going up now, because the sunspot group is visible and it will continue to flash us. So with that being said, we are going to look at the earthquakes and the impact that has had on us, because the earthquakes is where my intuition is kind of pulling me in for this particular episode to inform you about. So I'm going to take my vision off so you can see clearly what's behind me. Now, we have had an earthquake in Venezuela in the last 24 hours that was a 6.0. Right before that happened, on the other side of the earth, basically, there was a 5.0. And off of the coast of Taiwan, I believe it was. So on the opposite side of the earth of the particular situation, so here is our 6.0 that happened that we're most concerned about. But if you look on the other side of the earth from here, it's a little bit easier to do it like this. As you can see across, there was a bunch of activity across the way, basically, from this earthquake directly. But just slightly to the left, which makes me think maybe this earth is actually a slightly bit misshapen. But that's okay, because we get a decent idea, and this model actually works pretty close to the energy basically going through the planet and coming out the other side, and kind of this like constant movement of this way to this way to this way to this way, the reverberations of the earth inside the container. Now there's a little more details about this reverberation that happened that you may find interesting, which is the Venezuelan earthquake had pretty much it was almost two earthquakes in one, in my opinion, and it's showing up all over the earth that it was kind of two shakes. But they happened almost the exact same time at the epicenter here in Venezuela, right here. And this particular pattern where there's two, it shows up all over the place. A little bit in Brazil, you can see. It shows up a little bit here, even in Chile. Obviously, those are nearby the area, relatively. Even in Texas, you can see a little bit of it. Florida. Thailand's having its own experience, like I said, on the other side of the earth. You can see that all that activity is happening. It's pretty constant. That area is shaking a lot. Indonesia, Thailand. Panama's shaking quite a bit as well. So Panama seems to be a little bit unstable on this side of the earth, and then Taiwan on the other side. Sorry, Thailand on the other side. Taiwan as well, but Thailand is what I meant to say in this particular sentence. Let's move on. So we're going to move on to the lightning. Where's the lightning grounding in? It's grounding in over by the Caribbean heavily. It's also grounding in heavily over by Italy and south of Croatia over here as well. A little bit of a concentration, I would say, of cosmic energy coming into those particular areas. One spot that isn't showing up yet on the lightning chart, but is showing up more so with the rain and with the wind, is over here in the Great Lakes. There is a great length that you must go to understand the Great Lakes and what they actually mean for society and for everybody. I would say if you want to take a deeper interest in that, there will be many, many, many years of information to dig through. So this particular area, very, very, very important. And they're even maybe getting a tornado warning, I would say. I've heard in the Great Lakes, which could be kind of like a little hurricane almost moment because there's so much water. People were a little concerned. I wouldn't worry about it, but I would keep an eye on that area and study it much deeper if you have not yet. Very important spot. Solar wind speed is below average right now, so whatever that sunspot did do, it wasn't that Earth directed, and all the reports were saying that it's not an Earth directed M9 flare, so don't worry. Everything's pretty sturdy on our end. The M flare actually went more towards Mercury, which we can see in this chart right here. So here's Mercury, the orange dot. There's the ejection. You could see it very slightly there. Boop. It didn't even show up that strongly on this model, which doesn't mean a lot, but I'm just pointing that out. Here we are. Earth is the yellow dot over here. You can see very much that solar flare went in a different direction, which is great. Mercury got cooked by that one. Shout out to Mercury. Now, the global consciousness dot today was behaving very weirdly. I don't know if the program was malfunctioning or not, but there was such an extreme level of incoherence after that M9 solar flare. It lasted for hours. That incoherency, and it's not normally what I see so consistently. It just pushed the boundary a little bit over the edge of what I understood would be acceptable, so I'm making a note. But now we're back in green coherency, and I'm filming this video like a pro. So this is the sunspot region that we're kind of concerned about. It's just coming here on the edge of, there's two sunspots next to each other, but the one we're worried about was this one, the M that gave us the X 8.79 is this 3664 sunspot. And this sunspot is basically famous now because it has done so much that they literally had to rename it because I think it was getting too much attention, which I've never quite seen before with the sunspot situation. So a lot of this is about, how you believe the sun is affecting us. And I think there's a major effort to control what we think about the sun. But then I guess it basically just warrants an effort for people to want to educate about it in equal and opposite way. So that's just the Earth we're in. What team are you going to hang out with right now? Hopefully it's team research the sun and the Great Lakes, because I feel like that will give you a more accurate understanding about our planet and about what's going on, and then maybe how you can more efficiently spend your time and your astral time, even about where you want to wander. If that helps give you a hint about what I'm talking about, excellent. If not, please join my patreon.com/Ascension Diaries and get in on what I'm doing all the time. I fill out and discuss more psychic medium hits that I'm getting from the space weather. The hit I got today was earthquakes, Alexis, so I was like, okay, but it was a subtle hit, wasn't too crazy. Checking out the activity, just keep an eye on the earthquakes, basically, and the storms over by the Great Lakes. Those were the biggest notes. I'm just going to fly through a couple more bits of data here just to make sure that I'm covering it. Russia had some electromagnetic frequency amplification show up in the last couple days. I've been posting over and over because we keep getting a little bit of activity on this chart. We keep getting a little bit of activity on the Italian version of this chart as well, also watching the extremely low frequencies and how they're being amplified throughout the day, which involves basically the brain waves of all mammals for sure. So this is, if you care about mammalian brain waves, this is a study for you, for sure. You want to see if they're being pushed or pulled in any direction, caused to spin in circles, major anxiety attacks, all that stuff. Like I said, the solar wind speed and the pressure on our Earth, which causes those earthquakes, it hasn't been showing up yet. But now that the sunspot's visible, likely that's all going to pick up the pace and the pressure's going to increase. I'm seeing some bizarre data in Saudi Arabia during the solstice, literally, where they seem to be having this is South Africa. South Africa had an extreme level of amplification, again, in the 0 to 50 hertz range, amplification, and then a drastic stop, and then a little bit of amplification, about half speed, if not maybe even a fifth of what they were getting, in a very different looking signature. So South Africa, what are you doing? Literally, what is that? Come on. Everybody research South Africa. We've had enough is enough. You know what I mean? Time to stop being ignorant. There's something majorly going on. So did we hit the solstice and then the machine turn off? It was like, oh, good job, everybody. The extreme levels of the season is over and the machine can start with the new season. So start at day one again. It's giving me that feeling. This is just me pontificating, though. That's the channel. It is a diary. I get to have my notes. So what other things must I show you? The pressure on the Earth looking normal. The oracle for today, the Mayan oracle for the day is the White Crystal World Bridger. It says, I dedicate in order to equalize, universalizing the opportunity. I seal the store of death with the crystal tone of cooperation. I'm guided by the power of endlessness. So again, this is all Mayan poetry. Every one of these lines is to discuss the time that we're in, and it's a system of organization. So it may sound poetic to you, but actually you may be interested to know that, death may be a theme today when it comes to, as well as cooperation. So some sort of cooperative death potentially may show up in the news today, and you'll be like, whoa, the Mayans knew. And of course, endlessness, timelessness. Mayans love that as well. They are a millennium culture, as I was taught by the elders very proudly. The moon, which the cultures are also all watching, but somehow a lot of them have forgotten or being silenced to actually discuss what the moon is. But the moon is in technically the part of the sky we classify as the Capricorn section of the sky. About 21 degrees into it, it's going to move into Sagittarius tomorrow. So today you may be getting a lot of work done. You may be dealing with your knees, joints, backbones, your bones in general, your skins in general, your knees, like I said, or your spleen as well. Those of you who are splenic, like myself, you may be feeling some solid signals to do what you must do, like I am right now making this video. Fun. And then tomorrow, Sagittarian energy. I'm backwards. My apologies. Tomorrow is Aquarian energy, which is my moon. So I'm going to be still feeling amazing. I'm like a Aquarius Capricorn moon, Vedic Capricorn, or sidereal Capricorn, tropical Aquarius. Anyway, I'm in that region. I'm Saturnian moon energy over here. My emotions need to make sense for what activities I'm doing. If they don't make sense, then I'm really upset because it's inefficient emotion and we don't love that. So if you're dealing with the feeling that your emotions are inefficient, don't worry, that's just the pressure I'm under all the time. And you can think through it and say, there's aliens that really think that you having emotions and following and understanding your emotions is the intelligence that they're lacking and nearly killed off their entire species. So just lead by example. Let those emotions be a part of your experience. It's a part of why we're so cool on this planet. And that might help you reframe what's going on. It has helped me. And it makes sense because my moon, etc. Astrologers, you know what I'm talking about. Thank you all for joining my YouTube channel, subscribing. The love is there. I feel it. From our perspective on Earth, who's hanging out over by the sun? Mercury, Venus, pretty normal. Jupiter as well, pretty normal. It's pretty common to see all those kind of clustered up by the sun from our perspective. So just heads up on that. Earth is also squaring Neptune. So your dreams and your kind of how you dream about your life, you're probably going through that, kind of reassessing your dreams and where you want to shove your energy and time from now on. It's kind of like a mini New Year, the solstice. It's kind of like another New Year's we're having. So if you're having a new decision or you want to shift the pace of your momentum, yeah, that makes sense. You're doing the seasonal thing. It's not that special, actually. You probably do it every year on the solstices and equinoxes and not even notice you're like, oh, it's all about me. I'm making this big decision. It's all me. It's all me. And you're like, no, actually, that's the entire planet. You're having a seasonal push. So good job. You and every other living being on this planet is making a change. So that's where that momentum's probably coming from. No offense, but we are here to unify and gain the intelligence of our entire planet, not just humans or you and your bloodline. We want to expand your play to a broader range, more fun, less boredom. And this is my link tree. So if you need any of the links or even the apps that I get this data from real quick, that's all here in my link tree /Ascension Diaries. Hit it up. It's there for you. It's in the bio of my Instagram and on my website, as well as a resource, basically. It's right here, right in the middle. Links and resources. Woo, I got a bunch of fun stuff on my website. If you need to book a session, absolutely book one. If you're like, oh, I need something more specific or that's not going to work for me, you can just donate for the time that you really want or donate the amount you can really give. I'm here as service to others. I don't want to be like, hey, I'm going to do a whole bunch of free work for everybody, but I should just say that out loud because it's literally what I do with most of my time anyways. And so, yeah, just make use of me and my skills as a psychic medium to your comfort levels, and I will be able to meet you there. Otherwise, join my patreon.com/Ascension Diaries. Get a membership there if you can. Free or paid, doesn't matter. It does a little bit if you want to come to my events and you want to actually support me, then I would prefer you choose a paid account, of course, because this is my only level of income and I do not monetize my videos. And I'm not paid by any brand to be a certain way. So this is all organically me, and I aim to never be controlled when it comes to, my work and my service to others. I'm not going to be censored, if you know what I mean, in any way. So with that being said, let's look at the sun. I'm going to pop off back on the screen and just say what's up. I've missed you all. I know I haven't been doing a ton of space weather videos. I do quick posts, but this sunspot definitely warranted this video, and we'll see what it's going to choose to do this next couple days. I'm home, I'm working, so if it does start getting crazy, I can't wait to make more videos. It maybe gives other people the opportunity to learn this skill themselves and be able to share this with their community. I know a lot of you just now, just say, oh, it was a solar flare to your family or your coworkers or whatever, and they're starting to get the pattern. And so me telling you and you telling them, that's a cascade of love and of information that's actually serving, other than the devastating news that you can get on your news feeds that are meant to try and get you to click on them so they can sell ads. I'm not trying to get you to click on me. I'm not selling any ads. I'm not selling them for YouTube either, so don't worry about that. Don't watch them through for my sake. Certainly not. I basically only want to work with brands and companies that are in our realm and who want to actually help people. So if you have a company or a brand or a product that you want to promote on my channel and you want to collaborate, I've talked about this throughout the years, but I'm always offering. So I'm very honored to be of service to you and your company and whatever products that you're also providing to be of service. And let's collaborate together so I can, even have a more strict schedule with my uploads and have more organization with a team and collaboration, like it said in the Mayan calendar today. So if that's interesting you and it's dinging your bells and you're like, yeah, actually, I would like Alexis to represent my brand and we can work together. And if your product has something to do with easing space weather, that would be a perfect mix. So I'm like, hey, the space weather's crazy. Here's the product to help. I have one of those products, and that is Shilajit and Legit Gold. You can go in my link tree and get yourself some Shilajit. Men, mostly, you guys who need your remineralization and reinvigoration of your vital energies. And it also works for women as well fantastically, but we don't need as high a dose. But it's certainly a wonderful tool, the Shilajit. I also know moringa is another option to get those minerals. So if you're having cortisol problems, moringa, just little something, moringa in your life will definitely be helping you in that direction. But yeah, let me know. I'm happy to be of service. It's just me, so it's pretty easy to work with. And I love you all very much, and I can't wait to see you on the next space weather video. I wonder what we're going to discuss. It's going to be very interesting. What's going to happen next? What is the sun going to do? We will find out together. I love you all. World peace. Until next time. Bye, guys.